What's up, people? We late. We late. We all right. We're here. We're here. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. This is Jknoc with Poe. Back at it with some boxing talk. Poe, how you doing?
All right, how's it going?
You all right, man? You all right? You, you sounding too lively.
No, I got allergies messing with me, but I'll be
Ah,
okay.
ah. I'm. I can't say I have that problem.
And
I'm
it's
lucky.
crazy because I don't really have like years and years. My allergies just happen that start acting up now.
You know what? I do take that back because I didn't have it up until my accident. And then I started
Uh,
getting some weird things happening to me. It's like what? This never happened to me. I don't know what they did to me when I was in the hospital, but they did something, man. Science experiments, something. Uh, Whew, man. Okay, so what's been going up with you, man? Anything?
no, nothing really. Just reaching and talking to people and stuff. That's basically it.
Man, uh, I just been going through some stuff. There's a couple topics I want to talk about. Uh, Firstly, um, we got some fights coming up. Don't we got Canelo coming up next this
Yes,
Saturday?
Saturday. I think yeah, this that's fast too. Like he just
Yeah,
fought.
I was just it's crazy. Yeah, we got Canelo coming up this Saturday. Um,
I think Jamel Herring fight Saturday.
is he fighting on the same card or?
I don't know because I know it's a top rank is
Oh well, let me hold on. You know what? Let me see. Let me see this here. I don't see that on. I know he has one coming up. I just don't know when. I don't see it on this on the site that I'm looking at. Um, but with that being said, we got Canelo and Kovalev on Saturday. We got Burchell and Sosa on Saturday also.
yeah.
Um, we have I'm not too I don't see a picture of these guys. Uh, Lindratu and Taylor. That's going to be on Saturday also. Then we also have Cas Cas Casanado, Casaneo, and Omatsu. That one's also on Saturday. Then we have Nonito Donaire fighting Ique on the 7th. Then also on the 7th we have Umbali and another Ique, not the same Ique that's fighting Donaire, of course, but they're fighting for the WBC Bantamweight Championship. Nonito is fighting for the Super World Bantamweight and the WBA and the IBF. And then November 9th, we have Billy Joe Sanders and Crochet, Croce, and then we got after that on the 23rd we have Wilder Ortiz. Um, Also on the 23rd we have Smith versus Ryder, um, and they're fighting for the WBA super middleweight. Saunders is fighting for the WBO super middleweight, um, and that's pretty much what we have Let's see, Martinez versus Rosales on. Oh, there's actually a fight on the first, Martinez and Rosales. Yeah, there's some
You
big
heard about
fights. There's some big fights. Go.
yeah,
What was that?
you heard about Tyson Fury?
Tyson Fury. What? You kind of cut out.
He's talking about doing MMA.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
See,
I don't.
he
I at this point, I really don't care what he's doing.
he basically doing what Deontay Wilder. He avoiding him. He's doing everything to avoid. That's crazy. You do talking about doing MMA. What's
Yeah, I mean, what? You're a boxer. I understand you have a fighting lineage and all this, right? Okay, that's cool. That's great. But you ain't never competed in none of these things,
no?
and yet and still you're okay. I'm gonna give you the wrestling WWE WWE WWF. I'm old school. It used to be WWF to me, but other boxers have done it. All right, cool. That's
Yeah,
great. All right, whatever. But now you talk about going into MMA, all this like honestly, he will get washed in MMA.
yeah,
Dude, he goes against a Stipe Miocic. He goes against Daniel Cormier, uh, John Jones, um, trying to think, Cain Velasquez. Like, there's not. I don't think there's. I can't think of one heavyweight MMA fighter that he can beat off the top of my head. Because he's not going to be fighting. He won't be fighting at anything else but heavyweight. And then
yeah.
and then you
I
haven't.
don't even think he could beat
Who's that? Beat who?
I don't think Brock Lesnar.
Nah, nah. Well, if he boxes Brock Lesnar, but soon as Brock gets a hold of him, I think it will be lights out.
That's it. It's over.
I don't think he has the capabilities as a fighter to keep somebody off of him. Anybody that has any kind of decent wrestling or any good jiu-jitsu, it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
Like
He's too
like
tall and
look at
awkward.
yeah look at James Toney when he fought Randy Couture. First of all, that should have never happened. If anything,
No.
if anything, he should have fought somebody coming up, a up and comer of anything. You know what I'm saying? But to jump out the gate and fight Randy Couture, first of all, James Toney doesn't have the power. He might have had some power back in the day, but he doesn't have it now to to put a top level MMA guy out.
What's gonna choke them out?
Yeah,
Tap out.
and then you got Conor McGregor talking about Tyson talking about Tyson Fury talking to Conor McGregor saying he'll train him. Like who who are you?
Exactly.
Who is who is Conor? What could Conor McGregor show uh Tyson Fury?
Nothing.
Because Conor McGregor doesn't have any ground game or anything. If anything, Conor McGregor's a striker. That's why he was able to. That's why they were able to market him into a boxing match because all of his fights were mainly striking fights. The times that he got down on
Yeah.
the ground, he got beat. He got choked out. He tapped out. So man, I don't type like I'm just like whatever, man. Whatever, dude. If you ain't talking about fighting the best, like you were talking about when you were on your comeback, I don't want to hear it. What happened to all that talk he was talking about before?
Yeah, exactly. I
Oh, nobody can
understand.
beat me. I'm the best heavyweight. Blah 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 blah. I'm the lineal champ. All right, well go prove it. Go take all the belts.
Exactly.
Go take all the belts again. You know, let's take politicking out of it and just yo, you got the money, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Like you getting 12 to 14 mil, 15 mil on this WWF, this WWE thing. So let's take the money out and let's have the best fights. You know, take mandatories. Not what I mean by mandatories. I like minimums. I mean minimums.
Yeah.
Take minimum purses. I mean, fight not fight for pennies, but you know what I'm saying. Don't sit there and be like, oh, I want 50 million, blah blah. Like, yo, fight these guys. Take them out. If you the best, see.
Yeah. Instead of outpricing it, so
hmm one of the topics I wanted to get into is strictly about heavyweight. So we'll get into that one a little bit later. One thing I wanted to talk about is this franchise champion. This franchise
go ahead.
champion. This whole man. This made up championship where they can't lose it because they embody the what they think of their accolades, and they embody what a franchise should be, it's a whole bunch of BS to me.
It is.
It
Because if anything, what's come shouldn't Loma Chico shouldn't have a franchise.
no, see, and
But
that's the thing is what I want to talk about. You're basing it off of accolades and all this and all this. All right, the guy has 14 fights,
exactly,
and
that
and I
don't sound
and
like
I
no
I'm not
franchise.
I'm not talking about okay, and he has a loss on his record. Losses don't mean anything. A lot of the greats have losses on their record, multiple losses at that. But they were still considered great fighters. Why were they considered great fighters? Because they fought people regardless of what was going on. They fought the people, the top talents for the most part. For the most part, most of the greats did, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, of
You know what I'm
course.
saying? Like, okay, so what makes him a franchise guy?
I have no idea because he beat like two or three. I know about three good guys, champions and stuff. To me, that's still not a franchise because it's people called fighting them.
You kind of keep on cutting out. You said what? You said what?
I said I don't see how they make him a franchise champion when people's calling him his weight class fighting them.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Let me switch the server real quick. Hold on 1 second. All right, you there?
Yeah,
All right. Yeah. So what you said was you don't see how they're calling how they're calling Lomachenko particularly a franchise when people are calling him out and there's names in his weight class that he still hasn't fought.
exactly.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like from what I'm understanding is franchise. They're saying it's going to move the sport and it's good for the sport. And franchise is no matter what weight class they move to. they're that champion. So what about the champion that's already in that weight class?
Exactly. It don't make no sense. It's like confusing.
What what does it say about Canelo right now is basically the WBC light heavyweight champion. He ain't never fought at light heavyweight until Saturday.
Yeah, and what makes so bad, he's not gonna stay there to fight them champions.
It it,
You
it, it,
understand me?
it makes no sense. And regardless of if okay, so if they lose, they don't lose that franchise champion. Like to me, in any sport, if you play in let's say the World Series and you lose in the World Series, just because you have let's say you're the Yankees and you have all these World Series titles, and they say, well, you're a championship, you're a franchise World Series champion. But let's say the just throwing out a name out there, the Houston Astros beat them. I know they're not playing in the World Series currently, but I'm just saying the then they become the champions for that year. Well, they weren't really champions because the Yankees were the franchise champions. That makes no sense.
It
That makes zero sense. And it takes away titles that like it takes away the value of a title.
does.
Like
That's what it's about. A boxing.
why would you even fight for a title if you're not if you won't be like you'll never be that quote unquote that champion.
Yeah, a lot of boxers said that it don't belong. They don't even like
It
the
well
title.
okay if you're gonna do that, I have no problem with doing it. But to say that they can't lose it, that makes zero sense.
It,
Because if you
it
lose a
don't make
fight,
sense at
you should be able
all.
to lose a title. It should be something that like we said on the last show, like there's a champion from PBC, there's a champion from Top Rank, there's a champion from Golden Boy, there's a championship from a champion from Matchroom, and then that let's say a PBC fighter, whoever it is, and they're all in the same weight class. That PBC fighter fights all of the other guys from the other um, promotionals. Then I think that person should be a franchise champion.
Yeah,
And basically what I'm saying is like that person clears out a weight division, fights everybody in
that
that
sounds
fights
that's
everybody in the top 10, fights everybody
yeah.
in the top 10 regardless of what you become a franchise champion. All right, but
Yeah, it
go
makes
ahead.
more sense. Like you get all the belts, like the IBO and the WBO and stuff like that. You get all them titles. You cleared out all the so-called contenders and champ. Then I could get with you being a franchise champion.
But if you
It makes sense.
but on the other hand, if say you become that franchise champion and then your next say you wipe out the division, you wipe out everybody from everybody's camp and everybody's stable, all the different what he calls and all the top 10 and all this, right? You do all your job
Hmm.
and then you lose your uh, you lose a fight, you lose everything. You don't get to hold on to a belt. Like okay, yeah, you keep your belts at home or whatever, but you're not a champion. You're not
Yeah, that
listed
don't like
as a champion.
it gotta make more sense than that. It gotta be like if you lose, you lose.
Hmm.
The belts gotta come. You gotta let go of the.
And I'm hearing this. Well, they're champions because they can make the big fights of whatever weight class that they go. Well, they still got big fights in their respective weight class that they still ain't done. Canelo Alvarez ain't fought Andrade. He ain't fought Demetrius Andrade yet.
No,
He ain't fought the Charlos. He ain't fought uh what's it Morita whatever his name is.
all right.
Murat, yeah, whatever, yeah. Because Murat, he's the WBA regular champion. How come that fight ain't happened yet? Okay, I'm gonna give him this. He beat Canelo. Canelo beat Triple G.
Yeah,
All right, let's give him that. But I'm looking at the middleweight division right now. He ain't fought Charlo. He ain't fought Demetrius. He ain't fought Murat, Murata, whatever his name is. I don't even know how to say this name. Ryuta, Ryuta Murata. I think that's how you say his name. So that whole thing, this whole franchise, like it does not. I seen uh what's his name, Adrian Broner and Tank Davis talking about it,
yeah,
and it's just like it does not fit. They're right. It now if you're if you're talking about doing a like a UFC type of thing where or like a World Series of boxing type of thing, okay, all right, well
yeah,
you can do that where these different promotions put their fighters in this tournament. Bless you. Uh, put these fighters in the tournament and fight it out. Okay, yeah, you can fight for a franchise. What do you call it? But that has nothing to do with the WBO, WBA, WBC, IBF. That's something totally different. That's just a tournament you were in. And
yeah,
in that tournament, that determines a unified champion. You understand what I'm saying? Then you can become a
yeah.
franchise champion. If anything, a franchise champion should be nothing unless you are a unified champion.
I totally agree.
If you ain't unified, you ain't no franchise champion. It's it's greed, man. It ruined this ruins boxing. This completely ruins boxing, man. I mean, other things ruin
Does.
boxing, but this is.
I can see it's gonna be an outcry for that to go away.
Oh, I think it's gonna die.
Yeah, I really do.
I think it's gonna die because people are nobody understands it. Nobody understands it. You talk about accolades. All right, well, give Floyd a franchise belt.
That makes more sense. I'd rather for them to give a franchise to a person that's retired or retired. It makes more sense that way. That sound like you're a franchise person. It's like a
Yeah,
and you get
yeah. You've reached a pinnacle. I can see give it to Adonis Stevenson because of what he went through and everything.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That
Like
makes more
give it to
sense.
Gerald McClennan because of what he went through. You know, like if you're like okay, you give it to a Floyd Mayweather, right? They will never give it to a Mayweather because he's he's not he's an outsider basically.
Yeah,
Uh, but give it to a Floyd Mayweather or or somebody like that where they still have the ability to come back in and fight. Like I
Like
think I
When Pacquiao finally retired, he should get it. That's
right. It
it's like
should I think if anything it should be like somebody that has their foot out the door or that just stepped out of boxing to
yeah,
where it gives them like they might have been that big name like Floyd, Manny Pacquiao, who else could I say?
Andre Ward.
Andre Ward. Um, I can't say what's his name Roy Jones because that's way too far. But
Yeah,
like those three, okay, give them a franchise title. Give them the ability to right off the back if they decided to come back in, they're fighting a big fight. They're fighting for that WBC title. Now, granted, they can never lose it at that point, but if they lose, they lose. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And most likely, if they lost, they'll go in retirement, or unless it was like a controversial thing, you know. But it's stupid right now, man. It makes zero sense, zero sense. I don't like it. I think it's another thing where it ruins boxing.
Yeah,
It brings no benefit to boxing because like realistically, I don't want to see Canelo fight anybody else. Who do you want to see Canelo fight? I want to see Canelo fight the people that are in his weight division.
exactly.
I want to see Canelo do if Canelo's this iconic person. I'm not doubting this. I'm not doubting his greatness, but wipe the whole division. Be a unified champion.
Saturday I want to see how Canelo look. If he looks real comfortable at that weight class, he was weight and he couldn't really hold that weight very long.
Hmm.
I
I
think
think
that's what it is.
it's like okay, so Canelo's the light heavyweight WBC champion right now, technically, since he's the
Yeah,
franchise. So
yeah,
what about Beterbiev? He just
exactly.
beat he just beat Volsic for that belt, which technically Beterbiev is the lineal champion because he beat the dude that beat the dude.
Yeah,
Canelo, if Canelo, if they want to be like I don't know, I just I don't like it. I think it messes up boxing, man. It's just like let's make a belt for everything. The belt of the month. Let's have the champion of the week. You know how NBA and NFL and stuff how they have or in baseball was mainly maybe NBA, but the player of the month.
yeah.
Let's have the champion of the month.
It's crazy.
It's stupid. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, man. I hate it. I hate it, and it's just it dilutes. It makes everybody else that's actually fighting for titles and that's put in the hard work for titles. It makes it pointless.
Yeah, it
It makes
cheapens
them
the
it
film.
yeah it dilutes it. It makes it feel like it's nothing. I hate it. I really do hate it, man. It's the worst
You
thing
know
ever.
who came out of
You
you
talking
heard
about
me?
Ben? You talking about Ben?
No. Oh, no, I was gonna talk
His
about that.
his fight got canceled.
Yeah, cause it's
Yeah, he had a shoulder injury.
he's
But go ahead.
I know why, cause he trying to throw the same punches he threw when he was younger. You gotta
Yeah, you got those old muscles, man. You rusty it like you can't be just throwing that.
Yeah, yeah. But it's Klitschko coming out of retirement.
What?
Yeah,
Man, stop it.
he trying to be like George Foreman, trying to win a title before he retire again.
Stop it, man. Stop it. Just stop it. He
It's
ain't.
Shannon Briggs. Shannon Briggs trying to get a fight with him.
I can see that. Well, yeah, just have that fight. But yo, you ain't making no comeback. I'm
No,
sorry. He's not going to be able to compete against the guys that are up there right now.
no.
He looked old in the Tyson fight. He looked old in the AJ fight. Uh, no, nope. I don't think he can stand up to Deontay Wilder's power. I don't even think he can beat Ortiz. Truth be
No,
told.
me neither.
So, with you just saying that, my next topic that I wanted to talk about: who do you think the best heavyweight is right now? Who's the best
That
heavyweight?
that you put me on the spot. It's Deontay Wilder. Far as because in the heavyweights, you always think about power before anything else. The skill. Deontay Wilder put everybody out. The only one person he didn't like put on his back or knock. Well, he did put him on the back, but he did knock out his 41 wins. Tyson Fury was the only one he didn't.
I think I think there's some people talking about that it was a long count.
It did look like a long count, but there was the referee discretion, which still does.
I see that that's another thing that ruins boxing. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be when of discretion of a referee. There should be a actual timer. As soon as that person goes down, it
And
starts.
usually two people, use the referee counting
And
and somebody on the
yeah,
outside of the ring.
yeah, yeah. Um, but you say Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight boxer right now, heavyweight fighter.
Yeah,
Why? Other than you said okay, you said he puts people out. All right. What else?
that's what to me that's what he brings: charisma and his. That's a casual fan that's they love Deontay Wilder as a boxer. He don't really offer nothing else for his skills and everything, but he has.
I'm talking about I'm not talking about popularity. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm talking about the best heavyweight boxer right now. The best heavyweight in the whole division. Now, I'm
There
not
you
talking
go.
like I'm not talking about oh well he's popular. He does knockouts. I'm talking about the best heavyweight.
For his skills, then I'll say Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, I'll go with Andy Ruiz.
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you on that. Um, there's a lot of people that are that don't have the spotlight that are in the heavyweight division, but I think right now the best heavyweight all around, just the best heavyweight is Andy Ruiz.
Yeah,
Uh, I think Tyson Fury got exposed on his last fight against Otto Wallen. I think that I think that did something to him.
it
Th-
did.
that's why he's making the
That
moves that he's doing.
exactly.
You know that says a lot. I think I think even though he won his last fight, he lost his last fight
Yeah.
mentally because the talks were of fighting, what do you call it, right after he fights, basically beginning of the next year, February, I think. Oh,
Was it February or January?
no, it was February. It's February.
Oh yeah.
Uh, was fighting Deontay Wilder. Now, oh well, these things could hold it up.
And this on purpose.
Deontay Wilder made a statement. He thinks that Tyson Fury is going to uh, fake an injury due to the WWE thing.
I think either that or the MMA. Especially if Deontay Wilder look good fighting Ortiz. If he put him out,
Yeah, I think the like I said, the best heavyweight right now is Andy Ruiz.
yeah.
Um,
And it's a lot of heavyweights out there that's not getting exposure yet.
yeah, I mean Spung was another one. I
Yeah.
like Spung. I'm telling you that guy. If he need he needs some push behind him, man. He's very explosive. Very explosive.
You got Rivas that fought Dillian White.
Yeah.
Who yeah, we got Dubois, Daniel Dubois.
Mhm.
Um, what's his name? Frank got in Franklin. He's look out for. Joe Joyce and Damien Rock. It's a couple of weeks.
I mean, then you have Trevor Bryant or Brian
Yeah.
Muhammad Char.
Oh yeah. And I can't remember his name. He's from New Zealand. He pulled that for Dillian White, but yeah, got injured. No, he wasn't supposed to fight Dillian White. He's supposed to have fought this guy that just won his against Price.
Mm. There's some heavyweights, man. There's some heavyweights that we definitely need to see, and I think that I think ESPN needs to put together a lot more shows.
I agree.
That's just not just on the heavyweight, but that's just all throughout.
In general,
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that are not known. I mean, you might know them, but there's a lot of people that don't get the shine. Like Demetrius Andre. Like
that's so true.
what I'm saying. I think the Charlos get some shine because I think they kind of push themselves.
Exactly.
I think they put themselves out there, but you have fighters that are not so much putting themselves out there that uh that that are good fighters. There's some big things, especially like even in welterweight, man. There's some big fights happening in welterweight. Terrence Crawford got a fight coming up. Also, when is he fighting?
Who?
Crawford?
Oh, I think next week.
Yeah, he's fighting.
The machines.
Yeah.
They call them machines.
Yeah.
He's undefeated. I guess they plan on an undefeated.
Yeah, I don't really care for the whole undefeated thing, man. December 14th. I don't really care for the whole undefeated thing. Like I care less about it.
Good fighter, good fighter.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to see good
Lost
fights,
all
man.
of them.
Just want to see good fights. Just give me good fights, and I'll be good with it. You know.
I think that's more of a casual fan, and one of them fan fans that fanboy. Because back in the days, boxers had a lot of. I mean, they had quite a few losses on their record, but they were good fighters, and they still got the respect.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the introduction of social media also.
Yeah,
The introduction of social media and the lack of true promotion and promote and pushing these fighters. Like, because you had uh, um, like A&R people in boxing, PR people in boxing that actually put people these fighters in brands and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you
yeah,
seen Mike Tyson on almost everything. That's why he had a fight in Japan because Don King pushed the hell out of him.
yeah,
You know, that's why you seen uh, all these big names in fighting, the Evander Holyfields, you know, box and fighters being on weedy boxes and stuff like that. Like that was a big thing back in the day.
yeah.
Now you don't. What do you hear about people being on a Wheaties box?
Nothing really.
Like that needs to come back. There's a lot of things that need to have a resurgence, and I think it will be like I don't know. There's just
I feel like
things are left
laziness.
up to the people rather than they are bringing them and starting a business behind them. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
it does.
they leave it up to that person. Like cause I mean, do you hear about Edislani Laura?
Nope.
He's a champion.
I mean, you got to be a fan to know,
Yeah, I
and
love the
that's
guy. I love the guy. I think he's great. I think he's an awesome boxer. I think he beat Canelo, but that's me.
yeah. I think he did too. Yeah, people. That's why a lot of boxers they start promoting themselves. Just like, hey, I promote myself because my so-called promoters not promoting.
Yeah, yeah, that's the bad thing. That's what kills boxing, man. Honestly.
Yeah,
Um,
because
but go ahead. Go
you
ahead.
should just focus on your training and stuff. The
Yeah, you
promoting
should
that
leave.
shouldn't be.
You should the all the business should be part of your team should be handling that. Your promoter, there should be a whole team. I'm not talking about like 50, 100,000 people, all these people behind you, but there should be key people pushing these things. And maybe this is a lack of people getting behind boxers like they used to.
Yeah,
I don't know, like what, but there's a lot of businesses that had kind of fell by the wayside, and what I mean by that is like the record business. There's not the AR people, the artist relations, and those people are pretty much non-existent now
yeah,
because
because social media.
right because I mean you got people blowing up on SoundCloud and all these other things when it comes to music, Instagram, Twitter, like they're blowing up all these other things and like companies are like, why do we need an AR? I still think that They need somebody to do PR for fighters, PR for artists. I still think they need that.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah, it might be a old archaic way of doing things, but you can put a modern spin on that. You can put them, you can utilize the social medias and things like that, and do collabs and stuff like that to push their name out there and to where they can be a household name, because they're still doing that with one of the biggest stars in boxing right now, Canelo. He's still doing commercials, Tecate commercials, and all these things. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
they're still following that old quote unquote archaic way. So some of these boxers need to get hip to it. Not the boxers, but it needs to start with the boxers. They need to be like, yo, I need to get this. You guys need to do this stuff for me. I'm gonna focus on what he called. You guys get me all this other stuff. I'm gonna focus on fighting. You guys get me all this other stuff. I want to be a household name, not just to boxing fans, but to everybody.
100%.
Uh, what? Who else in the heavyweight division, man? Like, what else do you see?
Well, it's this guy Damien Rock. I think he's 14 and 0. He looks decent, but he got that chubbiness to him.
You said Damian Rock
Yes.
or Darmani?
Yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong.
Darmani Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that chubbiness to him. 17, 17 and 0,
Oh, dang. Yeah,
12
because he just
knockouts,
fought.
17 and 0. 6'5", from PA, Philadelphia. 23. Oh, he's young too. He looks old in his picture.
Yeah, I thought he was older.
Yeah, he's only 23. So yeah, I mean there's some big names, man. I mean it's just we need. I think there needs to be we need to see some ABC stuff, not just ESPN. We need to see some fights on ABC.
And I thought Fox would have been showing fights, being that they part of the whole ESPN deal, the show, but they showing it on they have another station,
Yeah,
outlet. I don't know if it's Apple.
he signed with Rock Nation.
Oh wow! I reached out to them. I thought they didn't really wasn't doing no more boxing.
No, he signed with Rock Nation. They got one, two, three, four, five, six fighters. I don't know if all of them are active.
I
Uh,
know one. It was a good fighter. He wanted out of the contract he had with the forget.
wasn't didn't what do you call it? Have a contract with him? Gamboa.
Oh yeah, he did, but that ain't what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I want to say
I think once
Gamboa
he
was
lost,
was was a guy. We have Junior U Yunan. He's a light heavyweight. He's 24, 15 and 0, one draw, 10 KOs. His last fight was in March of this year, and then we got Maurice Hooker. He signed with Rock Nation.
they Hooker they got I mean Rock Nation got Maurice.
Yeah, Yeah, he's the WBO junior welterweight champion. Yo, he just lost to Jose Ramirez, TKO, Maurice Hooker.
Yeah, I saw that fight.
And that was in July. But yeah, I mean, they had Andre Ward signed also. They have Tremaine Williams, Zhang Zaili, and Meng Feilong. Those are the boxers that they got signed to Rock Nation. Um, but yeah, I would love to see some regular stations get into the boxing, especially with
Yeah, me
with the
too.
void of uh, HBO. And it seems to me that Showtime is kind of dying out too.
Yeah, it seemed like these apps kind of killing them.
See, and you got a name uh, that a lot of people are not talking about, which they should be talking about him because he does have a lineage. I haven't seen him fight. I have to look up some of his fights, but Antonio Tarver Jr.
Yeah, I haven't really been under the.
Yeah, I mean he's 31. He's 6-0 with 4 KOs. I think he needs to get a some more fights. Or he just had a fight in May. I think
Yeah,
he
his
had to get
father
another.
trained him.
Yeah. So, and that's a middleweight, and I wonder if he has. I need to go back and see how his style is if he fights like his dad.
You know, Costa Zoo's son boxed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he's undefeated still too.
Yeah,
He fights out of he's training in Vegas in the Mayweather gym.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Um, let's talk about some gaming, man.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Did you hear the news? Did you hear the news about EA and other companies doing this? The Steam, they're going to Steam.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, EA's having their streaming service linked up with Steam. Um, I think it starts next year fully, but it's
But they talking about all their games, like most of their game. I mean, their
all their games
games.
is part of their right now. EA has a uh, it's not all their games, but EA has the EA Access, I think is what it's called, and basically they have access to all, not all the games. Like I said, it's games that they have out um, on those platforms, and it's mainly like more current games, some of the older games here and there, sprinkled here and there. But it's a subscription service basically, and they have it right now. You can get it for $5 on the consoles. Um, and you pay a little bit more, and you get premium titles, and you get all their like recent releases, the Maddens, the FIFAs, uh, the Star Wars Battlefronts, the Battlefields. Um,
Yeah, because they had someone put an article up. He said he don't know why EA and other they putting their games with Steam to publish it when they have their own publishing thing.
No, Steam's
But
not publishing it. Steam's not publishing the game.
yeah,
They're
but that's what the article that I was looking at on. I
yeah,
mean,
that
listening.
that's they're not publishing anything. Um, EA still publishing their own games. They're still and they're still doing all their stuff. All the only thing that they're doing is they're adding EA access to Steam, to where they can where somebody can pay a monthly service charge and get access to EA access, to uh, where they have access to a library of games. And EA access um, is, they used to call it Origin access on PC, but they have, depending on what, like on PC, depending on how much you pay. If you pay um, $14, you get access to all, all their current games, not past games. You're not They don't have past games and stuff on there like that. Like they're not going to have Fight Night on there. They don't have Fight Night on there. They have the UFC games. They have all the NBA Lives, the Battlefields, the Dragon Age, Need for Speed, Garden Warfare, Unraveled, Unraveled 2, Titanfall, Titanfall 1 and 2, NHL, Mirror's Edge. They have all these games, but they're not having the boxing game on there. They don't have Fight Night Champions, I don't think, on EA Access. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They got it. They got it on, what do you call it, on Xbox. I know, and they don't think they have it on PS4, but they know they have it on
Oh,
they know they have it on Xbox. It's part of the it's in the vault, so they do have a Fight Night Champions for just for Xbox. I don't think they have. Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up on PC real quick. Um, but what do you think about that?
what is that?
What do you think about that? What do you think
What the
about
whole?
the whole EA coming to Steam?
I think they trying to find a way to get some extra. Like they always trying to find some way to get some extra money. So, and I heard fans starting to push back on a lot of these companies.
No, I mean, well, that's why uh, the sales numbers have, quote unquote, dropped, is because of the streaming services. See, if you pay right now, you have Origin access for the PC. Right now, if you pay $4.99 a month, you get a 10-hour trial on all upcoming games, EA games, and then you also have access to 235 of 235 games, not just EA games. It's just a lot of games that you have access to. If you pay $14.99, you get access to all upcoming EA games, full games, no trials, no nothing. You get the full game right when it comes out, and you get the Ultimate editions also, like the higher tiers, and you have access to 240 games, and then you also get 10% off of every purchase that you do with Origin through Origins that's on PC. Um, and like other games like that I was saying, like you don't get, just like I said, you don't get EA games. Like you get games like Inside, um, the one of the Batman games. I think this is Arkham Knight, Vampire, Burnout Paradise, Limbo. Um, I'm trying to see games that are not made by EA. Mr. Shifty, Shadow Tactics. Um, let's see, Project High Rise. um, Rhyme, Unraveled. Like there's some games that are not made by EA that you still have access to. I think it's a good thing. I think it's just it just gives more people access to these games because some people don't use the Origin launcher. Some people just use Steam and that's it. Like I don't, I try not to use Epic because I don't like what Epic does. The Epic launcher. I don't like what they do when they do these exclusives and stuff like that. I don't like exclusives.
But it seems like it's some type of because when it comes to EA, they always got some type of and fans like questioning the validity of them doing.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. A lot of the games were offered on Steam anyways, but it's it's just more of a push to the whole streaming service, and I think this opens up the door, especially for a company like Valve, which owns Steam. Um, and that Valve makes games also. They made some of the best PC games out. Some of the most iconic games too. Half Life, Half
Yeah,
Life 2, Left 4 Dead, things like that. Um, and they also have their own VR, also their own VR system. Um, but I think it opens up a big company like Valve to see how things go to start switching that their the way people consume games rather than just buying a game outright. Um, because I think that market is kind of dying because of the the push more towards um, the streaming services. I still want a streaming service, man. Like to where I can play. Doesn't matter what game they were on, or I can just play everything. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Like if I could play a PlayStation 3 game on a streaming service, or PS2, or PS1, or Xbox original, you know, or old Sega game. Like I would love that service to where I could just like a Netflix or Hulu or whatever. I would love that service if if it wasn't so fractured. I would like just to be one one service at least, one or two maybe. And I think the only people that can do that is Microsoft uh, and Sony because they own more of the IPs than anybody else. And some of the other people, some of the other makers like EA and Ubisoft and uh, um, Activision will team up with a Microsoft or a Sony and put their games on that streaming service if one of them did it. And I think what do you call it can do it. I don't like the way Stadia is doing it right now. From what I know about Stadia, I, I I'm not too fond of how Stadia is doing it. Like you still have to buy the a game. You don't. It's not a service. Are you have you looked into Stadia?
Yeah,
Like I'm still confused of how it works.
then you could buy a control, and I don't know exactly, but I know the controller, and I guess you plug in a SIM card or something. I mean, some type of or adapter, and it makes it work on whatever system you want it to be on,
No, well,
like the
it just
TV.
runs on your TV. Yeah, it just runs on your TV.
They said and it
Well,
could run on your phone too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I just don't like. Well, right now it's only running on Google phones. I think. I think it's only running on Google phones, and then eventually it'll go on to other phones, Android phones and stuff. But yeah, I'm not too. I don't know. I'm not too hip. Like if it's a monthly service, then maybe. But if I still have to, I know they have the ability to where you have to buy separate games, where you can buy separate games. Like you have to buy the game and then you can play it and download it, stuff like that. But I don't know. I can get those other games with other streaming services, so it's like, why would I need Stadia? But I'm all for. You might. I don't think you're of the camp of where you like the whole streaming stuff. I don't think you do.
Nah,
I like it. I like
nah.
it because it can give me access to things when I'm not in front of a console or at home. I can pull up my phone and or my tablet or whatever and play that same game, and then I can save it and keep going. I like it. I like the idea. Um, but what about it? You hear any other big announcements?
No, not really. Yeah, nothing.
Hmm. There was supposed to be a big announcement, but the the timer just reset.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Why did what was the big announcement?
I have no idea.
Yeah, 'cause I'm looking at Hard Knock Nights. The one of the many websites, the GG one. It's set back up to 7 days now.
He probably mentioned something this Saturday because he can probably live stream the fight.
Wouldn't they have put that? Let me check. Let me check the other website. Wouldn't there have been a video or something of it?
Yeah, I don't think he really did a video today. But the fans be asking them questions. They're gonna ask him what happened.
Well, I know that there was no announcement. Nothing happened because I think I might be putting myself too big here, pumping my head up too much, but I think I pretty much nailed it when I was talking about the only thing that they're going to announce is a Kickstarter.
Yeah, I saw more like what they might.
They're going to announce a Kickstarter, and for people that signed up way back when to be part of the founders, the first 5,000, they were going to only have the first 5,000 with the Kickstarter. That's what I feel that they're going to do. So anybody that signed up prior is not going to be part of the first 5,000. But this is exactly what I was talking about these companies, Hard Knock Nights, Canada Studios, when they say that they're going to announce something and then they never meet the deadline. They always push it back or they don't say anything at all. Same thing with Round for Round. They say something and they never follow through with it. And this is why they lose uh customer customer what do you call it? Confidence.
Uh,
And this is why people don't do nothing. This is why they'll end up not buying the what do you call it? They won't end up buying it because they don't follow through.
Sure.
But yeah, that
Uh,
they their timer went back up. 7 days now. But I wonder if they'll meet this date.
I don't know. I know it's frustrating. No, more so for the fans that believe.
That's why people say this game, that game's not going to come out. This game's not going to come out. That's why they say these things, man.
Uh,
Because they do these. There's things like this happening. They got 3 websites. None of the websites are linked to each other, and that's just on the Canadapp Studio side with the guys making Hard Knock Nights. Then you got Round for Round, and I mean they're completely radio silent. That's not good. You know, nobody knows anything about that out in the public. Like I have zero faith in these what do you call it?
yeah.
In these companies, man. Zero faith in them. Zero faith that they're going to put out a quality product. Zero faith that the product is even coming out. Because according to they got something announced in 7 days, right? That's what they're supposed to. They're supposed to announce something today or yesterday. That never happened. Now they're saying 7 days, 7 or 8 days, um, which will leave 47, 48 days until their Boxing Day release. The only thing that they can do, I think, that will blow people away is if it was running on a system.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they can do. That is actually there's actually I'm not just talking about like okay yeah show gameplay, actual gameplay, somebody playing the game, but actually have somebody with a and they're showing somebody with a console on, a console being that's hooked up to a TV, and somebody hitting the buttons, making a boxer move. Not playing like they are, and this is what they probably will. They'll try to play like they're doing it, but because they're known for some shady stuff like that, like mix on words and word plays and stuff like that. They're known to do stuff like this. But the only way that they can actually amaze people, the only way that I would be like, okay, all right, we're looking a little bit better, is if they actually have somebody playing on the controls, playing the game, showing that person playing the game. That's the only way I see them blowing like, oh my god, oh it's gonna happen. Other than that, a Kickstarter, announcing a Kickstarter, announcing to be a founder you have to pay. to go against what they were saying in the very beginning, nah, that's gonna that'll raise me to talk about it more. But that man, that's all I got, man. Anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, that's it. I'm over trying to stay alert.
Oh, what you take some Benadryl or something?
Nah, my sleep apneia's acting up with my
Uh, all right, man. Get you some rest, man. That's all we got. Wednesdays, guys. Wednesdays and Sundays, not Saturdays. Wednesdays and Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern. All of our links to our social media will be in the description. Just hit that extend, and you'll see all of our links to everything. Everybody that has not downloaded it on your phones, make sure you download Discord and jump in the part of the boxing wish list uh, Discord. Put your information there. What I mean by put your information, put what you want about a game in there. Hold the conversations, even boxing talk, whatever, man. Game talk, boxing talk. There's that Discord in there. Make sure you join it. Um, drop the likes, subscribe, comment, share. Um,
notification bell.
hit that notification bell. Thank you for that one, sir. Thank you. Hit that notification bell. Um, follow me on Instagram. Definitely, you'll see me post on there before we go live too. Follow Poetic Drink to You on Instagram. Actually yours is not Poetic Drink to You. What is yours?
Um, boxing.
Boxing Tim.
Yes.
All right, yeah. His link is also in the description too. It's there. But make sure you follow him. If I don't post when we're going live, I'll make sure he posts when we're going live. But other than that, guys, we'll see you Sunday. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, hold on. Let me take a look at this calendar real quick. Um, man, actually, you know what? We won't be here Sunday because I have some very important things I got to do. I'm gonna be out of uh, out of town, so we'll see you guys
Mm,
next Wednesday.
yeah,
And
recap one.
that will be a recap of the Canelo fight and all the fights that happened over the weekend. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more other things, but I have on the fourth I have something very important happening in my personal life, so um, I'll be out of town the fourth and the third. So with that being said, guys, hope you guys have a good weekend, a good week, and a better weekend coming up. And that's it from me. Poe, you got any last words?
No pay.
Peace.